Hi guys! Today my video is about makeup I'm getting rid of and why I'm getting rid of it. And the reason I wanted to bring this up right now is because October is Domestic Violence and Rape Awareness Month. And what I do with my makeup that I get rid of is I donate it to women's shelters and domestic violence shelters. And it's kind of hard for me to talk about, but I just really do think it's a really important issue and it matters a lot to me. I haven't been in a situation of long-term domestic violence, but I have had some trauma and traumatic things in the past that have made my home at the time a hard place to go back to. And so I just really feel for these women, and I can't even describe the kind of situation they're going through, and so I really want to be able to support them and encourage you to support them and raise awareness for the situation they're in. So the reason this kind of stuff is so important is because not only is makeup a great way to give these women confidence as they're trying to leave these relationships, but another factor is that one of the key steps in leaving an abuser is gaining financial independence, so you're able to leave them more easily. And unfortunately, we live in a society where a lot of the times for job interviews and to look professional, you need makeup. So that's part of the reason that these donations are so important, and I just really encourage you. Every once in a while, I like to go through all my makeup and find things that either didn't work for me or I just don't use often and give back to those women. So I hope that you consider doing the same for your collection. For each product, I am gonna cover why I didn't like it and, you know, maybe if it just didn't work for me, etc. And the other thing I did want to say is that makeup you donate to these shelters, check the rules with them, but usually you can donate lightly used makeup as well. So they try and sanitize it and they will throw something away if it's just in too bad of a condition, but in the end it is a matter of these women being able to use what they can get their hands on and what's available and people donate for them. So you can bring in some of your lightly used makeup if you swatched it or, you know, used it a couple times and decided it just doesn't work for you. So I just really wanted to encourage you and even challenge you this October for Domestic Violence Awareness Month to go through your makeup and try and donate a few items to your shelter if you can. So okay, the first thing we're gonna address is a couple makeup tools. The first thing I have is a sponge here from Pure Cosmetics. It's just a regular beauty sponge. And the reason I'm getting rid of this is just because for what I want, it's a little too stiff. Like, even when you wet it, it just doesn't quite get soft and squishy enough for me like I like my sponges to be. So that's the main thing with this one, honestly. It's not bad, but it's just, especially since I already have a blender from EcoTools as well as a beauty blender, I just don't feel like I need a third one that I don't use very much and I don't like all that much, so it could go to someone who needs it more than me. And the second brush is this one, and to be honest, the reason I'm not a fan of this is just because I'm not sure what to use it for. I think the idea is that you're supposed to be able to go like this with a contour on this end and a highlight on this end, but it's just not my favorite way to apply makeup, and I honestly have used it maybe once since I got it. So I believe I got this in a subscription box. I didn't just go out and buy it, so that one's going. And the third brush is this sort of, what are these called? Paddle brushes? Something like that. And this one's fairly small. It's sold as for contour, but I just don't honestly really use it. I prefer fluffier brushes and my sponges, and this one's a little too dense for my tastes. So next, for some face products to talk about, I have a couple, well, two. Highlighting sticks. One is from Model's Own, and the other one is one of the L'Oreal Infallible Galaxy ones. This one is actually a super pretty color. It's sort of a pearly gold pink shade, but the problem I find with this one is that for me, when I put it on, it kind of lifts up my foundation and moves my foundation all around, and so I can't work with it all that well. But I think what it could be good for is when you're not wearing any foundation, if you're just doing sort of a natural no makeup day and you just want to put a bit of highlight on your cheeks and maybe do your brows to walk out the door, then I think this could be good, but I just honestly don't really have those days. I'm an all the makeup or no makeup kind of person, so it's just not really something I need in my collection. And the other one is from Model's Own, and it's kind of the same issue with this one. And lastly, for highlighters, we have these two liquid highlighters. This one's from Becca. It's one of their Shimmering Skin Perfectors, and this one is from Temptu. This one, I honestly just find that it kind of blends away. It doesn't give a very strong highlight, and I'm just not big on it, honestly. It's kind of for me, so with the other highlighters I have, I don't feel like I really need it. And with the Becca one, it is really nice quality, but again, I don't use liquid highlighters all that often, and also what people use this for a lot is mixing them with foundations, but I've discussed a million times now on my channel that I prefer matte bases, so I never really mix in liquid highlighter things with my foundations, because it's just not for me. And then in a similar realm, I have this bronzing stick, also from Model's Own. It kind of matches with that highlighting stick, but this one is just too orange for me. That's a fact of bronzers in general, but this one particularly is very orange and a little too dark for my skin tone. This third one is from Neutrogena. It's actually something someone bought for me, and I tried it out, and it's alright. It's actually pretty decent. It's just that I really prefer loose powders in terms of this, because it gets a bit of lighter coverage and you can kind of sweep it for more of an airbrushed look. So this one's alright. I just honestly don't use it, so I don't feel like I need it sitting around in my makeup drawer getting old. And on that note, I have another one. This is from Bare Minerals. It's their translucent powder duo, and it kind of has a matte side and then a slightly shimmery side. And same thing, I use loose powders more often. I just don't touch this, honestly, ever, so I don't need it. If I don't touch it, I don't need it. I kind of have that rule that after every couple months I go through my whole collection and I sort of sit down and have an honesty moment of what I use. So first of all, things that don't work for me I get rid of, but second of all, if it's something that I haven't used in a really long time, then I feel like I need to pass it along because I'm not making any use of it. So, and for another one is the Pretty Vulgar Nightingale palette. I talked about this because I got it in my BoxyCharm, and as I mentioned in that video, it's a good palette. Like, honestly, the colors blend well. It's not that I have an issue with the palette, I just don't see myself touching these colors enough, honestly. I have things that are similar, and it's just really not quite my shade range, so I'm gonna pass that along because I don't think I'll get use out of it. And I'm kind of doing a big de-cleansing of some eyeliners. So the first one I have is this NYX Cosmic Gel Liner. It's in the shade Supernatural. It's a very bright blue sort of gel pot liner. And what I don't like about this one is that it's a little too creamy. It's not stiff enough to the point where it sort of slides around, so it doesn't do well for like wings or anything like that, which is mostly what I would use it for. I might occasionally touch it as a base, but really even with that, when you put it down and put eyeshadow on top, it slides around too much because of that texture of it. And the second pot one I have is this chocolate gel eyeliner from DLS Cosmetics. It's just a brown eyeliner. And what I don't like about this one is that it's a little too light. It doesn't really have much pigmentation when you put it on your eye, and I wouldn't really use a chocolatey eyeliner that light. So again, it's a problem of not that it's bad, just for me personally, it's not what I would use or want, so I keep it around if I don't use it. More eyeliners. Like I said, we're really getting rid of some of these and clearing out house. The first one is the Butter London Stroke of Wow. I talked about this in my BoxyCharm and a lot of the problems that I had with it. It's like a roller wheel, and so it's really hard to manage on the eyes, but somebody else might have more luck with it or find better uses for it. So another one that I have is this Bella Pierre Ebony Gel Eyeliner, and the thing about this one is honestly that A, I have some black liners that I like better, and B, it's kind of sharp on my eye, if that makes sense, because I use gel liners in my, or crayon liners like this in my waterline, and it just kind of hurts my eyes honestly when I put it on there because of the, I don't know if it's the texture and the hardness or just the shape of it, but it's a little aggressive for me. And then the other ones are these two white eyeliners from ColourPop. I used to really like these, but honestly, I like the LA Girl ones a lot better, and these ones just don't, you have to kind of work with it to get pigmentation, which I don't know if it's something changed or if they've gotten old, but I used to really like them. And these ones, I just reached for the white one from LA Girl. I did keep a couple of their colors because they have this really pretty blue and this really unique yellow, but the white ones, I just feel like I'm not going to reach for them. Then, moving right along, first I have this mascara from Tarte. It's just their Tartiest mascara. The issue I have with this one is the wand. It's just that with the material it's made of like a, I don't want to say plastic because that's really bad, but it's kind of like plastic, and so when I put it on my eyes, it legitimately hurts me. Like, it's too sharp on the bristles and things like that, so, and I find that for me, it's more of a lengthening shape wand, and I don't need the length, I need more curl and volume, so it's just not my kind of mascara. And last but not least, we have the lipstick category. The first one I have is this Ades High Definition Liquid Lipstick, and most of these lipsticks are just a formula issue for me. Again, this one was kind of dry and it didn't quite go on smoothly enough for me. I have plenty of other ones that I like better. And then similarly, this Beauty Creations Longwear Matte Lip Gloss, which first of all, what the hell is a matte lip gloss? But second of all, again, it was just a really weird texture and formula, so I don't feel like I'm going to use it. I would reach for other similar colors before I even try that one. Then we have the Model's Own Luke Stipp Lipstick in Velvet Red Rose. It's a really pretty color actually, which is why I've kind of kept it around for a while, just because I don't have many colors like this. But I'm A, more of a matte liquid lipstick kind of person than a lipstick person, and B, it's just not my favorite formula. It's not as, if I'm gonna do a lipstick, it's gonna be creamy, and this one just doesn't do that for me. Then last but finally, and not least, I have the Lorac one that I again got in my BoxyCharm. It's their matte lip color in lilac, and I want to be clear, especially with these BoxyCharm ones and with some of these, this is a good lipstick. Like, it's not bad at all. Again, it's that factor of, am I going to use this? And especially, I have some shades similar to this, and so I don't want to keep it around when I have other options for that I like the formula a lot and I like how they look. I just don't think I'm going to touch this much. That's why I'm getting rid of this one. Really good, just not something I'm going to end up using if I'm being honest with myself, and somebody else could use it a lot more. That's all I have for you guys this week. I just really wanted to go through some of this. It's always good to kind of see final reviews and opinions, and what, even if I liked it initially, like for example the BoxyCharm things, I'm just not going to use and aren't quite for me. So I wanted to let you know what I'm passing along. Again, some of it's fairly good, but just not for me. Other things of it I don't really like, so hopefully somebody else can find some uses for them. And I again just really want to encourage you to go through your makeup collection sometimes and find stuff that you don't use enough or touch enough or you don't like enough, because there are some other women who could really use that and really need that right now in their lives. So please look for domestic shelters in your area, domestic violence shelters or women's shelters and places like that that accept donations, and see what you can do to help your community. I'm going to leave in the description box some resources that'll tell you more about Domestic Violence Awareness Month and things like that, and I hope you have a chance to check them out and consider how you can help your community. So if you want to see more videos from me and more videos like this, please subscribe to me right over there, and you can also watch my last video, which was my Dose of Colors tutorial. So that's what I have, and that's all I have for you guys today. So I hope you have a lovely day and make good choices, and bye!